The Life School Masterclass Show, where 6 and 7-figure CEOs build their purpose-driven legacy businesses through proven branding, marketing, and sales strategies so that they don't have to sacrifice their income and happiness for their mission. Thanks for watching the Life School Masterclass Show. Join our Facebook group community of badass mission-driven entrepreneurs, and come back next week same place and time for our upcoming show.
All right. Happy Tuesday, purpose-driven entrepreneurs. I hope you're doing well today. I'm back with you with another show and another amazing guest to give you amazing value, as we always do here at the Life School Masterclass Show, where we bring in different experts from different industries, because we believe life at the end of the day is a big masterclass anyway, and we all are always learning, growing, evolving, aligning our life and business on purpose, and making an impact and the income that we want. So before I introduce my beautiful guest today, I'm just reminding all of you amazing entrepreneurs that we at the Life School help entrepreneurs build a life and business legacy on purpose. As I mentioned before, we offer private and group programs on success and business growth. So grab your alignment call by messaging me right after this interview as well. So going into our program right away, I'm introducing my amazing guest, Dr. Elisabeth Wygant. I hope I said the last name correct. And we're going to be talking about a lot of interesting topics. Elisabeth has a lot of amazing background and knowledge and expertise in the area of balancing your hormones to increase your energy. Elisabeth, thank you so much for being part of our show today. Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for having me and just being open to sharing what it is I have to say with your audience. It really means a lot that you are just willing to do that. I think it's a beautiful thing. So I appreciate you. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Elisabeth Wygant, and I'm a women's hormone and gut health guru and functional nutrition expert. So I empower ambitious women to optimize their energy levels, reclaim their libido, and move in confidence. And I do this through what I call your wellness trifecta, through mind, body, and spirit. And the reason being is because everything in your body works as one. And oftentimes we are compartmentalizing when really what our mind thinks our body feels and what our body is doing on a biological and physical standpoint affects how our mind operates. And then the spirituality piece of this is we are all spiritual beings, and we have to come home to that. So especially for women, we really need to come back and rediscover that divine feminine that's within all of us. So that's a little bit about what I do. Originally started as a community pharmacist and pivoted quite quickly after starting my career, and absolutely love every aspect of what I do now. So I'm so honored to be here with you.
Wow. I love the connection, definitely of your background, but also how you just mentioned that we need to align, our energy, and how do we actually start connecting all those three very important factors that you mentioned. So I'm so excited to dive in a little bit deeper into the topic today. So most of the time, what do you feel, ambitious women, maybe masculine energy driven women, women that are out there trying to, go-getters, results driven, go, right? So that kind of energy, what do you feel like is some of the main issues that arise with just being in that kind of mode for a long period of time? I'm sure you've also seen it with your background in the pharmacy as well.
Yeah. So oftentimes what you'll see is fatigue, chronic fatigue, burnout. And something I found really interesting and why I love speaking on this topic is over the past several years, if you look at the statistics with the Great Resignation, more women than men have left the corporate landscape. And they've also been more apt to start their own business. So that kind of like is a red flag to me, right? something's going on there. And it's obviously because the corporate landscape and the model that we use is not working with our bodies as women. And then if you dig a little deeper into that, if you start reading further, the number one reason why women are leaving is because of burnout, and burnout for many different aspects. So this correlation is so intriguing to me, and it's something that we can do to start like shifting that dynamic. So we are burning out, right? We are going to be in that hustle culture until we fizzle out and we're like, I'm had enough. I'm going to start my own business or whatever it is that you've got going on. But now, like when you start working for yourself, or if you are riding that struggle bus of hustle culture, now how are you going to start optimizing your wellness? Because that's what it really comes down to when we speak on this topic. And we live literally in a man's world. Our societal norm, specifically for the US, is for the workday, is the 24-hour circadian rhythm, which mimics the male hormonal cycle. So you get up, you go, you do emails, you do your phone calls. It's grind, grind, grind. You get to lunch. Those are maybe your client calls. Those are going out to lunches with potential clients, doing more of like the salesy networking type thing. And by the end of the day, you're plopping on your couch, you're exhausted. You want to tune out and just like veg, right? I think many women can relate to this. I was one of them, definitely burned out in my career very quickly. And then I started to, I had to heal my body because I went through some just craziness after becoming a mother. And I had to heal my body, heal my spirituality, and also navigate how to truly trust my body and work with it instead of against it. So women are really blessed to have two biological rhythms. We have the infradian rhythm, which a lot of people don't know of. And then we have the circadian rhythm, which is the male hormonal cycle. To tap into that infradian rhythm, we have to look at our hormones through each phase of our cycle and how to navigate that and balance it. And again, like work with your body. So do you need me to pause at all? Do you have any questions before I keep going? Because this is something I will just keep on talking.
No, I think you just go for it because
Okay.
it's new. I never heard of it that way. So definitely educate us on it. This is what this
Yeah.
platform is all about. Go for
Yes.
it. Love it.
Yeah. Okay, good. Just feel free to interject whenever.
Yeah.
So with the infradian rhythm, again, that's following your hormonal ebbs and flows. So I always like to start with your menstrual phase. That one's pretty easy to identify for most women if you're still having your period. So this is a phase of really tuning in and making your work week light. Don't overbook your schedule. Try not to do presentations and projects during this week. And take time to reflect on things, speaking in terms of the work week. Reflect on things in your business, or reflect on things in your career if you're still working in the corporate landscape, and assess it. This is a great time to journal. Your right and left hemispheres of your brain are communicating at a higher level than what they normally would throughout any other time of your cycle. So your intuition is really strong right now at this point. Interesting, right?
Love that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got me there. Good. Love
Yes.
it. Keep going.
Yeah.
This is amazing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So doing that week or so, typically if you're having a regular cycle, it will last about 3 to 7 days. So giving yourself that time to really rest and nurture your body is so important, because you're expending a lot of energy during this time. So this helps with energy preservation as well. But let's say you do have a project or presentation scheduled for the week that you're on your period. You can do the thing, right? Do the big thing, and then take 2 days afterwards of doing the presentation, doing the project, doing whatever it is you've got going on that's a little bit heavier during that week, and rest. So 2 days after that, give yourself a lighter workflow schedule. And that's just so you can recover and recoup. And then when you move into your follicular phase, so that's your next phase moving out of the menstrual, this is a time when your hormone levels are going to start gradually increasing over like a week or so. And this is when organization is key, getting your week planned out or your month planned out if you feel confident in yourself to navigate your cycle phases and mapping out like what you should be doing where, depending on where you're at in your cycle. It's kind of like that beautiful phase of planning. Then with the ovulatory phase, this phase is your social phase. That's typically, like if you think about it from way, way back, it's a time for making babies, right? And it still is today, but this is kind of like that time where you would want to do your networking calls. You would want to take a potential client out to lunch or a current client out to lunch. And that's that phase usually lasts about 3 to 4 days. And then moving into your luteal phase, this is when your hormone levels will be at a peak, and then slowly over about 14 days, they'll start to drop off. And this is when you want to get shit done. So you take...
That's where we can do the do.
That's where you can do the do, right? So you want to take everything that you've planned and organized and prepped for during follicular phase, and any of those client calls that you had during your ovulatory phase, use that time in luteal to tie it up in a pretty bow and just have it ready to serve, right? Have it done. And that way, when you get back into the menstrual phase, you can give yourself that time to rest and recover, reflect. So that's kind of a little bit of how that works and how it will help you truly navigate your sorry, I just saw something pop up in the chat over here, so I got a little distracted, but truly navigate your energy levels throughout each phase. And I think this is so important because, one, it hits on the fact that we can help to mitigate burnout as long as we're listening to our bodies. If you're someone who maybe has irregular periods or you're going through perimenopause or menopause, there's a way to work with what I just said based on moon cycle phases. So that's a whole different conversation as well. But another one that I love to touch on, because it can be kind of difficult if you are experiencing perimenopause or menopause, irregular periods, if you have PCOS or endometriosis, where things aren't always like showing up on time, so to speak. With, oh, my daughter's coming in. Can you be quiet? Yeah. Had a harmonica. This is Olivia. She's not feeling good.
Playing the instrument. Oh, she's adorable.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here she is. Mommy's sharing something really cool.
Yeah.
Seeing mommy in action is always amazing.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 3.
Beautiful. What's her name?
Olivia.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Olivia.
She's such a ham bone. She loves to be on camera.
There you go. So keep her on your lap there and we could chat. There we are.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There.
That.
Trend.
It's like the best presents that we can have on our show for sure.
Yeah. Oh, don't grab that. That's hot.
Awesome. But listen, Elisabeth, what you're sharing right now is amazing. Because first of all, I never heard about it that way. There's so many things I can personally do. And I'm sure a lot of women, a lot of badass driven,
Yes.
women that are listening to it. And the way you just explained the flows and how we can actually work with a lot of that, it's amazing education that you just gave us for sure. And amazing insight, because you feel the sluggish energy, especially when you're in that flow week and you're like, we don't listen to our body because we don't know what to listen for a lot of times. So it's actually a really great period. That's why intuition attracted me, because we talk about intuition in business as a really amazing skill that we have as women to really tap into that mode of creativity maybe that week and kind of work around
Yes.
all the day-to-day projects and things that we have that will be in flow with that. So
Yeah. And that's the thing, is we have to reclaim that part of ourselves. Like I was saying, it's this piece of us that has been suppressed for so long, for centuries upon centuries, where we are living in a very heavy masculine energy right now. And in order to really like make those shifts, we have to remember who it is that we are. And women are so freaking powerful and truly a force to be reckoned with. Another thing that I found really interesting was over the summer, Gary Vee had posted it wasn't a statistic, but it was something that came up in the business world, where they are finding that the emerging superpowers of the world, so to me, emerging superpowers of the world are business superpowers, right? Are soft skills. And these soft skills are things like empathy, collaboration, treating others as human beings, like all of these things. And I'm like, those are feminine leadership qualities that we're innately born with. And it's about damn time, right? Excuse my language. It's about time for that to be recognized again. So for me, it's kind of like a calling of women to rise and step back into that power of that femininity.
I agree. When you learn to balance both, you're like in your,
Mhm.
you know, your highest form of
Yes.
consciousness and all of that. So I think this is really interesting. An interesting topic is something that we constantly have to work towards. All right, Elizabeth, I know your daughter wants your attention and she has to
Yes.
get mommy. So tell us about your framework. So how do you help your clients, you know, from when they come to you all
Mhm.
the way to maybe the end cycle of
Sure.
working with you?
Yeah. So the work that I do is we truly start out with mindset and spirituality. And that is because to me, that's your groundwork. That's your foundation. We really need to strengthen that piece of us. So that is where we begin with my program. And then we move into what's called cycle syncing. And it touches on what we just spoke on, right? So navigating your work week. But I also educate on nutrition and how you can really simplify that. I know that the current, I call it diet culture world, essentially is really noisy and overwhelming. And I find that it's just too complicated for many of us, many women, to actually like navigate what's going on. So I really like to break that down and simplify things. And then we work with nutrition, whole, real foods to balance your phases of your cycle. I also, again, I incorporate the moon cycle phases with everything that I do because of what we just spoke on as well. So those irregular periods and menopause, right? And then from there, we just keep building on that. So it helps to, again, it helps with your energy levels. But once you really start being able to know where you're at in your cycle and trust your body, it actually helps to improve your relationship with your partner and improve that libido, which is, I think, also something that doesn't get talked about a lot. But it is human nature to want to have that relationship with your partner. And to deny that is to deny being human. So having that discussion is really important to me as well. And then we move into the feminine leadership and just kind of like, again, tie everything up in a pretty bow. And by the time the women that I work with are done with my program at 6 months, they are completely changed in so many positive ways. It's like watching the creation of a butterfly. Honestly, it is so beautiful because they step out into their power and into their authentic being. And I couldn't ask for a bigger transformation for someone.
I love that. I mean, I have to have you back because we could talk about moon cycles. We could talk about right, how all of these things align, because obviously we are not just one thing. We're, complex human being, right? So I love that you bring all of that to the table with the women that you help. And I love that term, feminine leadership. That stood out to me. I love that term because how do we balance both, masculine and feminine leadership so that we are in harmony and we are, like I said, aligned. And that's really what this platform is all about. So, Elisabeth, I must have you back. Tell us, thank you again for everything that you've shared with us. I usually ask my guests at the end, what is a final message from their school of life that you want to leave our audience with? And also, where is it that people can find out more about all your teachings, everything you have going on?
Yeah, my final message, and this all kind of, I guess, wraps everything up with what we've been talking about, but it's time for us as women to reclaim our womb and our womb space and identify the fact that this is a space of intuition and guidance, and it truly is our source of power. It is our superpower. So if you are feeling disconnected from that part of you, you can reach out to me. I'm available on LinkedIn. That's where I primarily hang out. But to me, this is my purpose in life, and I have to follow through. So know that you are incredible. Know that you house a power that is truly a force to be reckoned with. And it ultimately will be the thing that's going to change the world and harmonize it. And that is what I will end with. And I'm actually currently hosting a masterclass called the Aligned Woman Masterclass. You can jump on. I have a Facebook group going. It's a private Facebook group where you can join us. Today's day 2, and we are going through that simplified nutrition today. And then you can catch the replay from yesterday where I break down each phase of your cycle. I walk you through the perimenopause and menopause hormones, and just it's called sex ed flipped on its head. So it really educates you on what's going on with your body through each phase of life. So you can join me over there. I would love to have you.
Absolutely. I would definitely encourage all our viewers to definitely join you there. And you have so much wisdom. You feel called. You could tell that you're doing it out of your heart, and you have so much passion for the areas and the topics that you teach, and that you actually help your community and your clients. I want to thank you again for everything that you shared with us, and definitely have an open door for definitely more beautiful conversations as this one. I took away a lot of great information and wisdom that you shared with us. And I want to also thank your beautiful Olivia for her graceful presence there. And we will definitely see you guys on another show. Thank you so much for following, and have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.